Hello. So I made a post as I was finishing up this morning, my morning practice, that coming out of survival mode is like stepping into a Ferrari after believing that you're a Hot Wheels car. And I wanted to speak more on that, kind of talk about what I'm experiencing today and what I've been experiencing. But first of all, like coming out of survival mode is a completely new experience. What I've realized today is that being in presence, being in cultivating the masculine energy, being in my body, honoring the movements of my energy has, for most of my 33 years, been an experience of pain, shame, intense, uncomfortable emotions. And so coming back into my body, of course, there's going to be so much resistance. For one, I also have not, since I have not experienced reality being myself, there's all this newness around moment to moment, day to day decision making and living. Everything is new. And so my message to myself today is similar to the energy of the post that came through, which is to let the process play out. Let these periods of confusion be there. Today, there's a lot of energy of like, all right, I did my morning practice, did some breath work, did the handstand progression workout, did bioenergetics, so I moved a lot of energy, I dropped more into my body. I know that I will be leaving here very, very soon. Came through in ceremony last week, and it feels intuitively very true. I was able to clear up some energy leaks yesterday in terms of finances, so right now I'm not obligated, I don't owe anyone any money. I know I want to leave, and the question is, how? How to manifest. And then I know that Maui is calling me, but it's also so are the Denver area and San Francisco. And so what I'm learning to do is to really be with this uncomfortableness of not knowing. I was actually thinking of a meme this morning. There's a meme I remember seeing where there was two people sitting in chairs like in class, and one of them was passing a note to the other one. One of them was called the universe, and the universe handed a note to the ego, and the ego opened the note and it said, be comfortable with not knowing. And that to me is what is so uncomfortable about coming back into the body and living in the present, being alive, almost like an animal. That's what I think of it as now. It's like, instead of this robot, I'm actually like a living, breathing primate, and everything is new. So it's like, can I just let things come? Can I slow down? And instead of reaching for safety with the mind, which is essentially what the ego is, and safety would be like going back to hiding or shame, or like I do have a job opportunity out here to work as a caregiver that I could take. And it's very, very tempting because it would be consistency of revenue. And that is something that I've not had, honestly, in a couple years. But it's sitting with this feeling of like, that doesn't feel quite right, and creating space for what feels right to emerge. And it's as though what feels right is on the other side of this discomfort, potentially grief, potentially fear, So yeah, it's a fucking new way of being. It's a new way of being, and it's so fascinating, excruciating, exciting to know that I am here, I am responsible for my existence, my choices, my decisions, how I act, how I support myself. And society has given me particular ideas around how to do that. And I'm realizing now that I do not align with them. And so there's this transition period. There's this transition period of, okay, I've untethered from societal expectations, and yet how do I live going forward? How do I support myself? I do know that one of the reasons that Hawaii is calling to me is because it is an amazing place to live extremely intuitively and connect more to oneself. And I also have a tent, and I'm also willing to be without a stable home for a while I continue to tune in. And I also do have an amazing human whom I know out there, and there's a community, so I know I'll be taken care of. But yeah, just sitting in this moment to moment, like, what do I want to do? Who am I? What do I enjoy? What does my body need right now? Living much more like an animal. Animals, they're tired, they lay down, they're hungry, they eat. And living in that way essentially bypasses the mind, and to the mind that equals death, and that's why there's so much resistance. But I do feel like it is getting easier. It's getting easier to do it. It requires patience and presence and a lot of self-love and understanding, willingness to be with discomfort and see that moving away from discomfort doesn't go anywhere. Like, I could go back, I'm on a walk right now. Part of me wants to go back into the room I have right now at my parents' home and just lay in bed and wallow. But I know that that will be avoidance of what is trying to come through me, and it won't ultimately serve anything. So the only other choice is to lean into the unknown and keep trusting. And to know that this process of embodied living will get easier. It's such a ride. The deprogramming is so intense. And then there's this like murky period of, who am I? What do I want? How can I ground into this new way of being more consistently? It's such a fucking trip. So yeah, those are my musings for the day. I have such a high desire to continue to share my experiences. One, because it's medicinal for me to talk out what I'm experiencing. It really helps me create a framework, honor where I'm at, helps me sit with and move some of the discomfort just to like speak it out. And then I really, really have a high desire to be seen in this, because I know that me speaking about it can support other people. So I'd love to hear if you resonate in the comments. I'm gonna post this on my YouTube. Yeah. Anyways, love y'all. Talk soon.